This is a no spoiler review of the movie Lake Bodom. I also have a discussion on Lake Bodom, so if you've already seen it, I'll put a link to the discussion because you should listen to the discussion, which is also a review, but this is just a review. So Lake Bodom is about four teens who go camping at a location where four teens were brutally murdered in 1960 by someone who was never caught. It's a Finnish indie horror film, and it's inspired by the actual murders did occur in 1960. But this film is it's fictional. It's just about some kids who go back to that location in the present. And I want to start out by saying, if you haven't watched the trailer yet, don't. You just gotta trust me on this. I watched this movie on a whim. I didn't have any knowledge of it, okay? I just like seeing people get fucked up in the woods because they shouldn't have had their asses out there. But after I watched the movie, I went back and watched the trailer, and it does give a lot away. So I'm going to start with dislikes. My first dislike is nothing happens for like 40 minutes. They smoke this little ass bag of weed. They can't possibly be high off this little shit. The first half just completely dragged. Nothing's going on. My next dislike, again with the first half, it was just a bunch of typical overused horror movie tricks like jump scares, strange sounds, filming as if it's the point of view of someone watching, running off into the darkness, ignoring obvious signs that you need to get the fuck out of there. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect from a 1980s movie about teens in the woods. My next dislike, the character development. Now, hear me out. I know character development isn't a necessity in a slasher film, but it wasn't just that I didn't give not one single solitary fuck about these kids. There was just nothing even likable about them. Like, I didn't like them at all. None of them. My next dislike, at some point, some seriously unrealistic shit was afoot. But everything after that was so crazy, you kind of forget about it. So on to likes. The story went in some very interesting directions, and it turned out to be a little less predictable than I thought. There was still plenty that you see coming, but having not watched the trailer, that may have inflated my overall perception with this movie as a whole. I don't know. I was just a lot. I just didn't know I just didn't see it coming. My next there was really, really, really good cinematography. The scenery. This was just. It was shot very well, and that's probably the biggest plus of this movie. That was very well done. And honestly, I'd say that's about it. The movie was okay. It didn't excel in any particular category, but it is a slasher film. Nothing really stood out. The acting was okay. The dialogue was okay. The characters were okay. Everything was just okay, which is why initially I gave it a 5. But the last act or so, I think it deserves an extra point. I want to give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's a good watch. If you have a list, put it on your list. Not at the top of the list, it's a 6, but it was definitely very interesting. It has subtitles, but check it out. Like I said, listen to the discussion. Let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter at MovieBuffChick1. Like and subscribe.